Welcome to TERRA's Third Thursday podcast for the month of May 2026. Today, we will be having another strategic discussion designed to help your organization maximize your e-scrap and ITAD operations. I am your host, Stephen Napoli, President and founder of TERRA, the Electronics Reuse and Recycling Alliance. For our regular consumers of these sessions, you know that we strive to be brief and to the point, while providing you with useful information that you can use to enhance your knowledge, operations, and bottom line. But before we get started, we need to acknowledge our new and renewing members since our last session. These include Next Tech Partners, AmpleTech Refresh, A Better Way Computer Recycling, Liquid Technology, Supply Chain Services, SSI, and our friends at Chip Sales. In today's session, from deployment to recovery, the missing link in IT asset management, the word is automation, I am talking with Stephen Hauser with EverCycle to discuss the biggest challenges organizations face when trying to recover devices from remote employees and remote locations, and how intelligent automation, AI, blockchain, and other technologies can maximize efficiency and profits. Enjoy. Well, welcome again, everybody, to another edition of TERRA's Third Thursday podcast. I'm pleased to have a good friend of mine, Stephen Hauser, our Vice President of Strategic Partnerships with EverCycle, and a partner of TERRA's and done with it in a couple of different capacities, one being Devices for Autism, which you can see behind me.
Yep.
Which we're looking to gear up. I've had Stephen, I'm not going to call you Stephen, I call you Hauser. It's Hauser and Napoli. That's how we roll. But I've had some great conversations here with Federal Express in the last couple of weeks. I did a program with them talking about the beta test that we did 2 years ago with Pixera, and FedEx is interested in maybe supporting our efforts here at Devices for Autism, perhaps with even a greater discount on our shipping,
Nice.
or completely giving us shipping free, and or also being financial sponsors of it. So that's the beginning conversations that I had with that 2 weeks ago. I'm having more conversations next month, so keep your fingers crossed on that. But today, we're here obviously to talk about asset management and your expertise. You are, becoming quite the speaker and the keynote speaker of the several different events in the industries. But I'd like you to real briefly just kind of introduce yourself to everybody, and then talk a little bit about EverCycle, and we'll get into some of this discussion about deployment to recovery, the missing link between IT asset management, which is automation. So,
Excellent.
Hauser,
Thanks,
please.
Steve. Always good to see you, Napoli. And yeah, the devices for autism, that's very exciting. I know that's been a couple years coming, and we've really pushed it, but it's so exciting. It's such a great cause. So I'm thrilled to be a part of it. So thanks for the opportunity. So I'm Stephen Hauser, VP of Strategic Partnerships at EverCycle, and EverCycle is a device lifecycle management platform, purely a SaaS platform. We don't purchase devices, sell devices. We are the bridge between enterprise and ITAD that allows basically transparency and visibility, which has been lacking over the last 5 to 10 years. So the platform has been built from an ITAD perspective, and as I mentioned, we've worked with our enterprise clients to ensure that what they need from their device lifecycle management and end of life, everything in the entire circularity of a device has been touched upon on our platform to ensure that no matter where the device is, when it's introduced into the ecosystem, they have visibility, they can manage it, they can move it, and they can retire it responsibly. So that's what EverCycle does.
That's excellent. And, obviously we use just a portion of the technology for our programs that we do with Done With It and our Devices for Autism program. But let's jump right into it here. I've got a question. What are the biggest challenges companies face when trying to recover devices from remote employees?
There's hundreds of them. I think it all comes down to, do you have a process in place, and is there accountability? As we were talking about earlier at the ACE conference a few weeks ago, it was amazing how people have processes, but nobody's accountable for different parts of it. So they rely so heavily on deploying the devices, but the real gap basically starts trying to get them back. And that's where it fails. There's not one person that is accountable or one department that's accountable for devices not coming back.
Mhm.
And that's each department may have their own process and they also have their own way of doing things. So, a
But
typical
basically, it's just a checklist people have of devices that need to be sent out, and then then they're gone.
correct. Everybody's so worried about, oh, we have a new hire. Get the laptop and the phone out to them. Great. But when there's a termination or someone leaves the company or they do a swap program, they're deploying new laptops. That's great. Just get the new laptops out. That's the number one priority. And then there's another part of that everyone's kind of left behind saying, well, why aren't you getting all the devices back? Well,
Mhm.
I have to call 100 people. I have to email 100 people.
If you're
Those 12.
lucky, just 100 people.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. But and then I have to update the spreadsheet and everything else. So if I were to take you through a normal process, you'd sit there and go, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And everybody does it similarly, but with automation, all of those things can be tied to a customized workflow. And basically, you import the data, everything is automated, and you move on to your next task. So that's what we're trying to accomplish through EverCycle.
Yeah, that's daunting. I've seen the back end. I know we've been more than just demos. I'm in it myself, and the
Hmm.
functionality is there, the simplicity is there. Um, when you're talking about having to deal with that many people or that many
Yep.
different locations and that many different devices, and there's no way you could handle it on just spreadsheets and whatever people are trying to do it.
Definitely not. And just think of the chaos that, just with 10 devices. So if I'm trying to recover 10 devices this week and only 5 come back, okay, within the next 10 to 24 days. But the next week I have another 10 and only 5 of those come back. So by the end of the month, 40 have been requested, but only 20 have come back. When you think of only 5 not coming back, by the end of the month, there's 20 that haven't come back. And over the year, that's 240 devices. And that's only one client. If you take that
Mhm.
across your 70 different clients that an ITAD's trying to manage or an enterprise with only recovering 10 a week, it's exponentially expensive from a payroll perspective because you're dialing for dollars that should have already been in the building.
Right. And potentially for organizations that do have, real data security issues, they're just
Oh,
playing with
God.
fire. My God.
Yeah.
Um, so that brings up kind of my next questions then. You kind of gave an example there, but what percentage of devices do organizations typically fail to recover? And, kind of what are some of the reasons for that?
As I mentioned, poor processes, lack of accountability, and disconnected systems. That's one of the primary things we see is everybody has their spreadsheet, everybody has their technology, everybody has their CRM or their ERP or whatever it is. They don't talk to each other. Each department does it their own way, and everything is a manual workflow if they have workflows. So you figure if somebody runs a really poor, manual recovery program, they might be at 40 to 60% recovery rates. If you have an average program, might be 60 to 80, and then somebody who's really robust, automated, and just killing it is 85 to 95%. Those are few and
Killing
far
it is like a
between.
C?
Yeah, exactly. So you can fail, you can get by with your B's and C's, or you can get A's.
Mhm.
And we've all been there. We all had the friends that were the A students and the ones who weren't. But there's a lot. Most of them struggle to just get in between that and get a C. So
Mhm.
that's a problem.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Um, so, how much money are enterprises losing through these, lackluster recovery processes?
Oh, that's so if you were trying to get, a company to like a 60 to 85% recovery rate, people at 85 say, "Oh, we're doing great." The people at 60 are like, "That's the best we can do." You still have to understand that's 15 to 80 or 15 to 40% of devices that are just gone. And when you think about that, you had mentioned the data.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable. It's not the $300 device. It's the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in loss if you have a breach.
Mhm.
And just because you don't get a laptop back and it's locked from their MDM, the hard drive still has everything on it. So, and if you don't get that back, God knows who can get it now.
Yeah.
So, and you figure if you lose 100 laptops a year, the average cost to, replace that device could be, 20, 2,000 to $2,500. We only think of the value of the replacement of the
Mhm.
device. But you've already tried to recover it. You've already tried to, call and email and, track the people down. And then you go into your security. Then you have to, disable it. Then you have to do everything internally to protect, from a security perspective, your data. And, there was a stat that I read the other day. $8.6 billion dollars is the cost for companies globally for non-return devices. 8.6 billion. I mean, that is insane. So when you think of it like that, everybody goes, "Oh, well, I'm just a little piece of that." Well, it all adds up. And imagine if we could get that down in half.
Hmm.
That's 4 billion devices that also don't end up in a landfill, or $4 billion worth of devices. So,
At least laptops and tablets can very simply go back to devices for autism.
amen. Great plug. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. If you absolutely don't have a way to get rid of things, just go to devicesforautism.com. Very
Yep.
simple. Doesn't
Yeah.
cost anything.
Anything. And, when people hear, the $8.6 billion, well, what is incorporated in that is IT support, the security investigations, trying to recover the data. You may have shared drives and all that kind of stuff, and that person was the only one that had access to it. How do you break into it to get, access to it? Productivity losses, and just the overall compliance exposure.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect for
Right.
one device, but you just write it off for $300, you move on,
And
which is not
so that
acceptable.
money's that's just the hard assets that are going out the door, not necessarily the sunk costs, the lost costs, and the potential you have for exposure to being sued if this material
Exactly.
gets out into the wrong hands.
Yeah, because it's basically, smartphone $100 to $600. We'll replace it. Who cares? Laptops $200 to $1,500, and then tablets, $75 to $1,100.
Mhm.
I don't have an $1,100 tablet, but I know they're out there. So it's not just the hardware investment. It's also, if you don't get the devices back, you don't get the resale opportunities.
So, of that kind of those device, categories that are out there, people working from home and, other kind of deployed devices, what makes up the bulk of it? And then what's the bulk of the material that isn't coming back? Is there a particular class that's more difficult to recover than others?
Definitely laptops, because number one, people say, "Well, it's going to cost me." I've heard crazy numbers like $150 to grab a box, ship it out, send it back, track it, follow up on it, and that's basically just the cost of the box and the freight out and the freight back. That's insane. It should never
Yikes.
cost a company that much. Yeah. Now, if you're overnighting stuff, I get it. New hire, mission critical, you overnight
Mhm.
the laptop to them. And if you get into repair and swap, that's overnight is a necessity. But to just simply recover a device ground, it should never cost a company that much, just in the box and the freight.
Mhm.
So, I'm sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Well, it was really the type. Is there a
Oh, the
particular
types.
category device, type of device that is, you said laptops were the ones that are hardest to
Laptops.
get?
Yep. And, it's one of those things again, if they feel they shut it down, no big deal. But, phones, if a phone doesn't come back, not a lot of data on it. But the laptops should be the number one priority in getting those devices back because of the cybersecurity or the security uh, implications. But to answer your question, it's probably, I would say 90% of the non-return devices would be a laptop,
That
which
just
is
seemed,
huge.
yeah, that seemed in billions of dollars, and that seems very very much like low hanging fruit that these organizations are missing out on.
Oh, totally. And now the memory that's in these things too.
Mm. Oh
The
God, yeah.
value, when I had mentioned a few minutes ago, the value of getting a device back and being able to resell it. Number one, if it takes you 4 months to get the device back, it's depreciated over those 4 months. I may have gotten $800 for that laptop in November, but now that, Christmas is over and everybody's flooded with, nobody's buying them, guess what? Now it's like 300. It can
Yep.
drop that much. And now they're paying for memory. So if they can pull that memory out of a non-functional laptop, they could still be worth $300 just for the memory.
Hmm. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
So yes, some of the just what are some reasons why is beyond just kind of like apathy. Why aren't these companies getting these devices back?
Uh, well, number one is when I would say terminations. You have a disgruntled employee, they've just been let go. Getting your laptop back to you is not my number one thing I'm going to worry about today.
Right.
But what we've done is with our platform, we've automated the reminders. So when a recovery of a laptop is initiated, not only will they be notified that a recovery kit is on the way, but once it's delivered, it triggers the notification. So the next day, if they haven't sent it back, they'll get a text and an email, and they'll get it every single day until they return it.
Yes.
Once it's scanned by the carrier, those reminders stop, and the company that the device is going back to is notified that that has been completed and the laptop is en route. So I think that's one of them. And then
So
just the lack of
your platform integrates with the carrier
correct.
information. So yeah, so a scan happens at a FedEx, or who are your carriers that when something is scanned that you track?
Sure. UPS, FedEx, USPS, DHL. Globally, we use local couriers. So once they call in and say, "Hey, I picked it up," then it shows that it's been picked up and the employee has done what they needed to do. So yes, we're fully integrated that Perlator up in Canada. So we have total integrations with all the freight carriers. So again, it's not a tracking number on a spreadsheet that has to be copied, go to FedEx, track it, update the spreadsheet, call the person again, or note that it is coming in. So it's all the manual stuff. Automation is a very, very, very powerful word. And when you can automate something, you see all this AI stuff and people just dropping a spreadsheet in and saying, turn this into a chart. That's
Mhm.
automation. That is, I'm giving you a bunch of tasks and I walk away and I go do my stuff.
So yeah, let's walk through that a minute. I mean, that's
Mhm.
pretty impressive. I mean, because yeah, I think that's probably why a lot of these devices didn't get back because somebody's got to send an email and they got to send a follow up, then somebody's got to make a phone call, and somebody's got to
Mhm.
track it, and somebody's got to mail off a shipping label and a box and a kit, and then somebody's got to make sure it got there, check the numbers, and make sure that the package actually was delivered.
Yep.
You know, what are some of the the kind of the steps that you are making just completely done done without any human interaction?
Yeah. So for example, say I was using this example when I was at the expo this past week in Atlantic City. I said, okay, if someone asks you to recover 700 devices in 700 different locations for remote employees, is the answer yes, you can do that? And they go, oh, no, that would take us a couple weeks. Imagine if you can just take that spreadsheet, whether your client is doing it or you are doing it, drop it into the platform, import all those records, and from there, it you can map the data and then you walk away. Our platform will verify that you live at this location, you still have this device, and you'll be home next week when the recovery kit should hit. And if the answer is yes, now the box goes out. If the answer is no, they correct it and the box is sent to the correct location. That's critical because that saves anywhere between 13 and 20% of returns not coming back because you sent it to the wrong address.
And that just doubles the
Uh,
cost if you send it to the wrong place.
Doubles the cost, and everybody's touching this six, seven,
Hmm.
8 times. And what happens if somebody doesn't know that box came back? Now they're getting two people calling and saying, Mary, send your stuff back. Mary, the first box never made it to her. She moved 2 years ago. So automating the reminders, automating the emails, also making sure that when a request is put into the platform, a email goes right out with the label, all the tracking numbers, all the instructions, live links, everything like that. So the great thing is you don't have to do that manually anymore. It is all completely automated. And then, the dashboards, get a quick snapshot of, okay, of those 700, how many have come back this week? Right on the dashboard,
Hmm.
your client can go in and just say, "Oh, cool, we're at a 91% return rate this month. That's amazing." Chain of custody reporting to stakeholders. Guess what? at 2 o'clock on Friday for client ABC Incorporated. They can get their 4 reports sent at 2 o'clock on Friday. BCD Incorporated gets their report sent out at 2 o'clock on Tuesday because their
Mhm.
board meeting's on Wednesday. So to get to that 85 to 95% range, you just have to have automation, and that's workflows, that's notifications, verifications, reminders, your offboarding, everything is all completely in a workflow and a customized workflow for your program.
So, that's obviously something great, for people kind of, for enterprises and manufacturers and large employees who are handling their
Mhm.
their own devices. But what about somebody who's working with an ITAD partner, like one of our certified members? Is this something that, you know, they can use?
Yes, absolutely. And it can go both ways. So we have enterprise clients that have come to us and said, "Can you help us find a new ITAD partner?" And with that, that's because of our platform. Maybe their ITAD provider doesn't want to utilize it. And when I say utilize it, all the ITAD partner has to do is push certain data via APIs to our platform. And it's all on one platform. So there's a single pane of glass, I should say, of all the data in a single place. So that is
But you integrate
definitely
with
something.
ERP systems?
Yes, McCore, Razor, homegrown, NetSuite, anything that's out there, Salesforce, you name it, we can integrate with it. And I'm glad you mentioned that because integration is a scary word. We've
Hmm.
all been through those integrations. It takes 6 months, and 12 people are on campus, for 5 weeks, having lunch with you and asking all these questions. That's not it. It can be flipped tomorrow. It can be, up and running. So that's the beauty of the APIs and everything.
So there is no friction between
No.
getting this thing automated and the current process that people are doing now that's manual and spreadsheets.
Correct. Yep. If you have 6 data systems already running, tell us the two from this and two from that and two from that, and we'll put it all in one place. And, I was mentioning from the enterprise side, they can either utilize their existing ITAD partner or whatever partners, their deployment, recovery, repair, doesn't matter. And then the other side is the ITAD clients. They have hundreds of clients that they service.
Hmm.
It enables them to automate their existing programs or enable them to take these new services that they can offer through automation, box recovery programs, deployment, provisioning, redeployment, refurbishing, whatever they're doing. This can enable them to now take that as a new revenue offering to their clients and say, "We've expanded our services," and they haven't had to build it. It's not a year out; it's tomorrow.
Hmm. That's a strong piece. I mean, we've been
Yeah.
we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. It's like can't believe everybody hasn't signed up to you guys at this point to do
Me
it.
either.
Um, that's why you're still out there. But
Hmm.
so one of the things is the kind of the cost of the logistics, the shipping and all that. That might be kind of a hindrance to people. I mean, so if I'm an enterprise, am I using my shipping data, on my shipping rates or your shipping rates or like a shippo or kind of
Hmm.
where am I how am I plugging that piece into it so I'm managing my costs on just moving material back and forth?
That's a fabulous question. We get that every single day. The cool thing is when you set up a customized workflow on our platform, you can have wherever the devices need to go, if it's end of life or repair, refurbishment, but you can utilize the ITAD, their freight number, your client's freight number. If there's a GPO that, multiple clients are a part of, that can be utilized as well. So no matter what freight you want to utilize, it can be embedded in our platform. And every time a shipment is sent or requested under that workflow, and for example, you can have one client that has a terminations workflow, a new hire, a swap program, iPad recovery program. Every single one of those can have a different freight number depending on what the program calls for in the SLA or the SOW.
That's great. And then a
Yep.
reminder to everybody also that Terra and Done With It and EverCycle have a
Yes.
partner for that as well. We do have an incredible shipping rate that we've earned through Federal Express, as I mentioned through in the beginning with our Devices
Hmm.
for Autism program, something we
Yep.
can leverage on behalf of all of our Terra members as well.
Absolutely.
Um, I'm getting all of them in there. I mean, just every single one of these ones, I just, ding, ding, ding. I should be like
Good plugs.
writing myself checks for these plugs.
We
Um,
we need like a sponsor that we can say, "Hey, thanks again to so and so
yeah,
for
absolutely.
sponsoring this."
Um, so, working with you guys, and how can people, work with you all in terms of, increasing their automation? What's that process look like for getting engaged with you guys?
Visit us on the web, evercycle.io, and request a demo. That is usually the easiest way, and then we'll respond to that. And it's a matter of us understanding what the pain points are, whether it's an enterprise, small to medium business, a bank, hospitality, an ITAD provider, like I said, an MSP, a TEM, MVNOs. Doesn't matter what type of organization you are, we can plug in and help in the recoveries and the complete automation. So, how to get started? Number one, get in contact with us. But number two is we'd love to learn more about, like I said, the pain points.
Mhm.
Discover where it is you want to go in your program. And from there, the nice thing about our platform is you can get on it and there are different things you can utilize. You don't have to utilize everything all at once. So if you're not doing deployment and you're not doing refurbishment, but you're only doing recovery, good. Go ahead and you can do one device at a time or thousands at a time. But once you get into deployment, provisioning and redeployment, if you want to get into caging and provisioning and sending out devices, all of that can grow with you. You can also build quotes. You can have a price book on there so your clients can build quotes in the middle of the night and say, I have 50 of these. I'm going to, the price is XYZ. Great. It's approved. Everything's completely automated from there. So
So
it's
it's a want
incredibly.
to buy, want to sell platform to an certain extent as well.
What was that?
It's a want to sell, want to buy kind of platform as well. It integrates some of those features.
Yes. So with the enterprise client, if we have them paired with an ITAD, the ITAD or the buyback company can have their pricing on the platform that's visible to that client. So, for example, a client has 7 devices in their ecosystem. It might be a Lenovo Tiny, it might be this type of iPad, it might be this type of phone, this type of laptop. That client can have visibility to their ITAD partner or their buyback partner's pricing on a daily basis that the ITAD and the buyback manage. And you don't have to wait for a pallet or a closet to fill up. You can send 2 devices back. You can send 50 devices back. Why? Because it's automated. And I can go in and say, I've got 5 of these. Great, it's approved. The label prints, they send them in. Nobody had to talk to each other. Nobody had to sit and wait for Eddie to create the quote. What is it?
Right.
How much is it today? It's completely done. And yes, that is something that has saved companies thousands of hours because you don't have to go back and forth. It also forces the ITADs to keep an updated price book for that client to get more devices back in-house.
And to make sure things don't sit on shelves and just sit there and lose value through
That is
depreciation.
absolutely correct. Yep.
So what else are you guys? I mean, that's covering a lot of ground.
Mhm.
What other any other like integrations that we missed, or what other kind of things you're working on?
About little over a year ago, we partnered with a company called Vere, and it is a blockchain partner that we have, and the co-founder of blockchain, the technology, back in I
Hmm.
think it was 1979, is Stuart Haber, and he is a partner in the organization that we partnered with. So we have the ability to, every time a device moves, every time something changes with the device, it's written to the blockchain, it's hashtagged, and it's an immutable record that will never go away and can never be modified. And it will match what's on our platform with the device history. So you're basically building a Carfax for a device, which we've predicted and talked
That
with
that's
different
that's
people.
currently built or in
Yep.
construction now. So that's up and running.
Currently on our platform, we have people using it. And it's great because of the fact that it's a confidence factor when you're talking about data security and everything else. They have an immutable record as to everything that's happened to that device, where it is, who has it, and it'll increase the value. And we're thinking anywhere between 3 to 4%, which is identical to what Carfax is. They can go anywhere between 3 and 8% with a Carfax versus a car
Mhm.
that doesn't have it. So that's where we're going, and we're trying to work with the OEMs. We're trying to work it's adoption right now. Everybody goes,
Right.
I don't need to do that, kind of like ESG, and you do have to do it. It's coming. Why not get out ahead of it?
So, I'll ask it. It's the $64,000 questions because people are going to want to know. But I always say when I do ask it, nothing costs too much. It's just valued too little. What does engaging with, Evercycle look like in terms of, what's my price point to work with you guys on some of this technology?
Sure. It's a monthly subscription and it starts as low as $550 a month, depending on the number of devices under management, depending on the programs that everybody runs. But as I was, like I said, at the expo in Atlantic City, I had people go, "You got to be kidding me." Because everybody thinks of software as, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And, that's because they're overpaying for stuff that they don't even utilize. So
Mhm.
we've created a model. It's basically as you expand, we expand with you. So it's an incredibly, incredibly low entry level, depending on the opportunity, waive an onboarding fee, all of that. So it's again, it's learning about what the prospect needs, and we build the program accordingly. And as you grow, we grow together.
And just for that one component, if you're getting additional 3 to 5% because you're getting a Carfax level quality report and on this material, that alone is going to pay for it. Forget all the savings and time and the headaches that you're gonna that you're gonna forego. You're gonna make more money.
Yeah. So a great example of that is someone did the math. They were standing at our booth and they said, "Wait a second. If I get 5 or 6 more iPhone 11s in or iPhone 12s, whatever it is," he goes, "Those are $100 a piece on the market if they're in C grade." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "That pays for it right there." And I said, "Yes, just getting 5 phones back per month pays for it. Imagine if you get 2 laptops. That's
Hmm.
all you have to do to pay for our platform, which is unbelievable. So yeah, we're way underpriced, but that's we're out there to help and we're out there to
Yeah.
build relationships and we are changing the way device lifecycle management is handled in corporations and every day, it just gets better and better and better. And increasing those recovery rates. When someone calls us and says, "You won't believe what my boss just said to me," came into my office and said, "Thank you." I see my boss once a year. He's been in 3 times this last month, type of thing. So it's really cool.
Well, so we're people that you've been a road warrior here doing some conferences over the last few months. So might get this episode might come out a little bit late because we weren't able to get it recorded till the very last here. But
That's my fault.
no worries. Where can people see you in the coming months and meet you personally?
Oh boy, I think in July we'll be in Miami at Mobile Disrupt, and then I believe we'll be also at ITAD Summit, which I think is the following month.
Hmm.
So the nice thing is I've been on the road for the last 6 or 7 weeks, and I'm home for a few weeks, so I'm excited about that. And I finally get to do things like this again. But it's yeah, I'm just thrilled that we have the opportunity to really just kind of shed light on how easy it can be to improve your programs. It's as simple as that. And, everything from digital passports, getting back to your question that, other things that we're doing, we're also initiating digital passports. We have an AI agent that we built custom that enables a person that has no idea what to do with a device, say it's an HR person,
Hmm.
it has a broken screen. Go ahead and put that in. It's Mary's in Philadelphia. Guess what? It gives that HR person three choices. They choose go ahead and repair it, and after they choose that, the recovery kit goes out. Everything's completely automated. It goes to the repair uh, partner. The repairs are done, and it's put back in inventory for the next person. All within roughly 20 to 25 seconds. That decision's been made, and everything's been done.
That's
So that's really
fantastic.
cool.
Yeah,
I
that is
did
really
not
cool.
build that. The smart guys did.
Well, awesome. That is
Yeah.
great. Well, do me a favor because I'm going to put a super graphic for everybody who's watching this, but people who are listening. Tell us your email address and phone number if you'd like, so people can
Sure.
get in touch with you.
Yep. So again, the company web address is Evercycle. That's EVERCYCLE .io. My email is Stephen, Stephen, at evercycle.io. And best number is 630-853-5002. I'm in Chicago, so Central Time Zone doesn't really matter because we don't really have an 8 to 5 schedule. So
Nope.
anytime you need, anytime you want to learn more, we're more than happy to go ahead and talk through it and find out how we can be of assistance.
Very good. And you got to get that changed to Hauser at evercycle.io. Or
That's pretty
at
cool.
least
I
you
like
should
that.
have it. Create it and have it come right to you. 'Cause I think that would be more appropriate.
I love that. I'm I'll take care of that right after I get back
Yeah,
up.
have
Don't
have
use that
Dan.
yet. Don't use that yet. Let's work with Steven at Evercycle because I don't know if I can get that done, but I'm going to try.
Now we'll work on Nate.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Mr. Hauser, it was a privilege and a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this for us this month. And
Absolutely.
I guess we'll probably see you at ITAD Summit.
Absolutely.
All right. Until then,
Great.
everybody, until next month, y'all be good and take care. See you next month.
Thanks, Napoli. Take
Bye bye.
care.